I'm just back from a 5-day cruise down to Cabo in Mexico on the beautiful new Carnival Firenze. In this video, I'm going to give you a full ship tour, and I'm also going to give you my opinion of this new ship, which, as Carnival describe it, is fun Italian style. It's slightly different from your regular Carnival cruise ship. You'll especially notice inside some of the decor is quite unlike anything I've ever seen before on a ship. And we're going to take a look at some of the food as well. So let's get to it. Welcome to Let's All Cruise, and my name is Scott. Carnival Firenze sails out of the port of Long Beach, right next to the historic ocean liner, the Queen Mary. It now operates as a hotel, and if you're interested in seeing what it's like, I actually stayed on board. Hit the subscribe button, I have a video coming soon. So unfortunately, the worst thing about this cruise was actually right at the start. So it got better from here, but it took 2 hours to board, and that's the slowest ever that I've experienced in all the cruises I've been on. Now, we were only in the second ever cruise for the ship out of Long Beach, so I hope they fixed those teething issues. Let me know in the comments how your boarding experience was. Well, let's get started with the tour, and we're going to start from the top down. This is deck 15, and this is the Serenity adults only area, and a great place to come. You could always find seats here. Having said that, there wasn't always shade, so if you love the sun, you're probably going to love it here. And there are 2 hot tubs on either side of the deck, and there's also a bar which is open during the daytime. When you're somewhere as beautiful as Cabo, the Serenity deck absolutely lives up to its name. Just outside, you'll find the Carnival Waterworks, which is 3 different slides, as well as a splash zone for kids. There was never a queue for the slides, and I think the reason is these are very, very tame. I've sailed a Navigator of the Seas, also out of LA, which always had massive lines for the slides, but those slides were really exciting. Unfortunately, these Carnival ones just aren't. Also on deck 12 is the Cloud9 Spa and the Fitness Center. Unlike Carnival Panorama, however, this ship does not have thermal suites. It does have one big thing that Panorama doesn't, and it's this glass roof over the main pool. We'll take a closer look at that later. Continuing on deck 12, there's mini golf as well as a ropes course, right next door to the yellow and blue Costa funnel. There's also a jogging track up here, and 4 laps is equal to 1 mile. Well, let's head down to deck 11. That's where you'll find the sports court and also a number of kids clubs here as well. Well, let's head indoors and check out the upper level of the Lido pool area. Now, this is a retractable roof, and that's great for a Pacific Coast cruise. If you haven't done one, then you won't know that it can get chilly, it can get foggy, it can get windy on the West Coast. So having the roof here is a really great benefit. Now, this ship is based on the same design as the Carnival Panorama, but this area feels completely different because of that closed-in roof and just some of the design elements that they've done here. I did hear some people saying, though, that it's too hot with the roof closed and too cold with the roof open. So I don't know. There needs to be some kind of voting system on board, perhaps through the mobile app. That would be great. I really like this deck 11 area around the Lido pool. There was a bar, there was lots of comfy seating. It had this really interesting design. Some people described it as feeling chopped up, but I kind of liked how they've laid out this ship. I have to say, I didn't like it at first, but it grew on me after the few days I had on board. Now let's check out one of the inclusive dining options. This is Il Mercato, open mainly during the daytime. You can get sandwiches, hot dogs, and meatballs here. During this video, we're going to check out all of the dining venues on board. Now let's head aft. This is deck 11. More interesting seating areas, some shaded as well, which I really appreciate. And just a spectacular aft area, the wake view, pool and bar. Really nice. Now there's only 6 hot tubs on board this ship. So there's 2 here. There's 2 in the Serenity deck. There's none in the main Lido pool deck though, which you might expect. Now the final 2, they're for Terrazza guests only, and they're down on deck 5. We'll take a look at that later. Now, as well as the bar here at the aft, we have a couple of more dining options. This one is Pizzeria del Capitano, and again, this is inclusive. And this actually is the longest opening hours, I think, of any of the food outlets on board, 9 a.m. in the morning until 4 a.m. the following morning. Over on the starboard side, there's another food venue, and this one varies according to what time of day it is. So breakfast and lunch, it's Chicken Shack, serving fried chicken. And at night it converts into Seafood Shack, but Seafood Shack is an extra cost, it's not included. Now I have all the menus on my website, which is letsallcruise.com, so you can check out the menus there as well. Now I have a shellfish allergy, so I didn't eat here, but if you did, let us know in the comments what it's like. Well, let's head indoors on deck 10 to the Lido Marketplace, which of course is the buffet. I think this is one of the most successful spots on the ship. I just love the design here. The decor is fun, it's got this sort of beachy vibe with the parasols. It may be my favourite cruise ship buffet, at least from a design point of view. And there's hand washing stations, which I always appreciate and like to see on a ship. Well, with hands washed, let's head to one of the beverage stations. And there's 2 coffee machines, one is regular, one is decaf. There's some selections of tea in the middle, hot water for that, cold water and ice here at the end, and in the middle fruit juice station which dispenses things like lemonade. Now there'd always be different food options available every day, but they'd always have this station called Comfort Kitchen, but still offering different things daily. And some of the things of course would be the same every day, like salads, breads, meats and cheeses and so on. I took lots of photos of what was available in the buffet and posted them on my website at letsallcruise.com. I really like the dessert section. They rotated things daily and they would always have at least one gluten-free option here as well. Some of them were really good. If you sailed on Carnival before, what do you think of the Lido Marketplace? I also really like swirls. They have both frozen yogurt and soft serve available, 2 flavors every day, and it's self-service. One of the things I liked about this buffet as well was that it never got that busy, and I think the reason is there are more food options scattered around the ship, so it doesn't bring everyone to one central point. So for example here, we're in the Lido now, and we've got Guy's Burgers, and by the way, these burgers are awesome. This is one of my favorite things to get for lunch every day. And you can customize it with whatever you want. They have lots of fixings available. Now, if you want something different, over on the other side, you've got Tomodoro, and that's supposedly Mexican and Italian fusion, but mainly they're offering both tacos and burritos. And again, this food was great. I was really impressed. The tacos were delicious. So here in the Lido deck, we've got the main pool, and of course today the roof is open. It's a glorious day. And now, if you're a Carnival regular, you may wonder if they have Red Frog or Blue Iguana. They do not. There's Rococo Bar on the left, and over on the right, there's Java Blue Cafe. At night, they would often show movies here on the big screen and close the roof over, so it's a bit warmer. Now, Java Blue is not included, so you do pay for your espresso coffee drinks here. You can also get coffee down on deck 5 though. But up here they do have desserts, cakes and gelato. Well, we've covered all the upper decks, so time to take the elevator down to deck 5. And these elevators are a little different because you put your floor in before you get inside the lift. It actually works. It definitely speeded things up. Well, after day 1, people had gotten used to it by then. So we're inside at the aft of deck 5. Deck 5 is the main indoor deck. But also has the Promenade, which we're going to look at later. Moda is a bar and lounge. This was often karaoke in the evenings. And this venue was open to everyone except for breakfast. They would serve breakfast for Terrazza guests only in the Moda lounge. And outside here, this is the Terrazza area. This is for guests only in Terrazza staterooms. Although I believe after 7 p.m. they do open it up, so anyone can get out here to use the bar and maybe enjoy the sunset. Another difference with Carnival Panorama though is there's only hot tubs. There is no pool back here. Now on both sides of deck 5 there's about 18 cabana terrazza rooms which have this sort of unique outdoor space. You do get 2 loungers, but there is no hammocks, unfortunately. Well, let's head back in through Moda and check out the rest of deck 5. We're roughly halfway through the video, so if you're enjoying it, please hit that like button, it really helps. And if you want to see more cruise videos, hit subscribe. It's totally free to do that. Alright, so the next venue you come across is this. This is Tuscan Lounge, which also has a bar. And this is actually one of the bars that's open really the whole day long. And Tuscan Lounge is used for a lot of events, quizzes, music at night. There was also a towel folding class that happened here one day as well. And this is another place where you can get espresso coffee drinks as well. But yeah, remember that you do have to pay for them. They're not included. You also have to pay for the empanadas, which are available in the other corner of the Tuscan Lounge and served in the evening. Perfect for a late night snack. Well, moving forward on deck 5, we've got the photo gallery on the left here. And then roughly midships, we're going to come to the Frizzante bar, as well as Il Viaggio, which is one of the specialty restaurants. Of course, it's Italian. It looked like a great menu. I didn't eat here, but it's a beautiful space. And they also have outdoor seating on the promenade, which I'll show you a bit later. Now, moving forward, we've also got another bar, Amari, and right next to that is Bonsai Sushi, another of the specialty options on board. Outside, you can look down into the casino, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later in this video. Now, they have got glass around here, which is good because that stops the smoke coming up onto deck 5 because the casino is pretty smoky. Also smoky, but for the right reasons, is Fahrenheit 555, which is Carnival's steakhouse. Now, what pairs well with a steakhouse? How about a piano bar? This was open in the evenings, but it wasn't this separate area. It wasn't like in the atrium as you might see in some ships. And then finally, Bonsai Teppanyaki. Now, again, I didn't eat here, but I heard from so many people that this was their favorite. They loved the food and they loved the experience. And of course, it's very social because you're sat around the chef with other guests. I've done this before on some other cruise ships, really recommend it. So yeah, I think that's a good one to go for. Of course, it was fully booked out in advance. So if you want to go, do that early. And here we are in the atrium, also known as Piazza del Duomo, of course, carrying on the Italian theme. Now there's no room here for events, but they did have a small stage, so there was often live music. Well, first up is Hip Fish Apparel, which had a decent selection of clothing, also some souvenirs. They actually used some really nice stuff here, I have to say. Over on the other side of deck 5, there was the watch shop, and of course the bag shop as well. There was a wide selection of pre-owned items available. Well, one floor down, deck 4, this is where that little stage is I was telling you about. So some of the live music was really nice, I have to say. Cherry on Top sells candies and other things kind of aimed at kids, and if you want to get yourself some cruising ducks, you'll find them here as well. Over on the other side was the Carnival store, which had some really nice stuff here, so definitely check this out when you're on board. The atrium's quite far forward, so it's a very short walk from there to the theatre. There's had events, during the day, bingo and other stuff like that, and of course theatre shows and game shows at night. And it's actually a really cool space. I like what they've done. They've really leaned into the Italian theme. They've made it kind of look like an Italian opera house. The red velvet seats, it's cool. I haven't seen a theatre like this on any other ship, so it's kind of fun. Now, I was here during the day for a Q&A with the cruise director and some of the officers of the ship, including our captain, Captain Enzo, sitting on the left there. And at night I came for this show called Color My World, which was a collection of color-themed songs. Can you guess what this one is? Here's a clue. It's purple and it's raining. Later in the show, there was some finger painting on stage, which looked super fun. On another night, I checked out What's Age Got to Do With It, which is kind of a fun, interactive game show. Here's the casino, also on deck 4, and there was a good selection of table games as well as tons of slots, as you would expect. The main casino floor was incredibly smoky, but I'm happy to report they actually have a separate non-smoking casino with a selection of games and slots. Well, there's a few more things to see down here on deck 4. First up is the Heroes Tribute Bar. You'll know this if you've sailed in Carnival before. I think they're on all of the ships. It's a tribute to American military, and it also doubles as a sports bar. Well, heading down deck 4, there's the art gallery, and then down here at the end is the Limelight Lounge. So this is a multi-purpose venue. It transforms into a nightclub late at night, like after 11 p.m. But early in the evening, you'll find the Punchliner Comedy Club here as well, with some family-friendly shows as well as some adults-only ones later. So we're almost at the aft here on deck 4, and this is where you'll find one of the 2 main dining rooms. This one is Michelangelo, so let's head inside and take a look. Again, like, this has got amazing Italian-esque design and decoration here. The sort of marble effect is really interesting. I have never seen a main dining room like this before on any other ship, and the pièce de la résistance, that's a French phrase, never mind, is a copy of the statue David by Michelangelo. I find some of the decor a little odd for a cruise ship, but I have to say, to talk to other passengers, many of them who've been on lots of other ships, they loved this ship because it was much fancier and more interesting, frankly, than some of the other ships. So I think it's good that you know, Carnival now has this choice. Okay, so here we are at the other main dining room, Medici. This is on deck 3. And again, it's kind of very fancy Italian style decor from a certain era. And it's interesting how they've actually chopped up this dining room into sort of smaller rooms almost. I thought the tables were nice, but I did notice that they didn't have tablecloths, which is unusual, I think. Here's just some of the food that we had. I thought the food was pretty good. Some nights better than others. I really liked this strip loin that I had, I think, on a couple of nights. That was always on the menu. This is chicken parmesan, of course. Now, earlier this year, Carnival introduced dedicated vegan and gluten-free menus. So to find those, go into the Hub app and swipe left on the regular menu. This was the gluten-free version of the melting chocolate cake, and it was amazing. So good. Now, this may be Carnival fun Italian style, but you're still going to find the classics of Carnival, like Showtime in the main dining room, which was a lot of fun. Here's the maitre d' dancing along with one of the guests. One night we left the dining room and we were surprised to find the theatre cast singing a rendition of Nessun Dorma. Well, our tour of the ship is almost complete, and I've saved one of the best parts of the ship till last. This is the promenade deck on both sides of deck 5, and this is a trend that I think a number of ships are now have, is these sort of widened promenade decks. So it's not just a place to walk, but it's also a place to sit, and if the weather's nice, a great place to have a drink. By the way, almost all of deck 5 is open to everybody on the ship. It's just that very rear section which is only available to Terrazza guests. I think this idea of outdoor seating for some of the restaurants is a great one as well. Now, deck 5 even features an inclusive food option, La Strada Grill. It's only available on sea days at lunchtime though. It's an interesting mix of sandwiches, salads, and barbecue food too. And this is the reason that, you know, this ship, the food areas never feel crowded because they're scattered all over the ship, so people don't concentrate in just one area. Well, because of the terrace area, which is actually behind us right now, you can't walk all the way around the ship unless you're a terrazza guest, but everyone can access the bow and most of both the port and starboard side. And they do occasionally put out the loungers here, and you'll notice there's actually some stairs. So we're on deck 5, but you can go up. So let's take a look. There's more public space on, I think, 5 or 6 of the decks right at the front. And if you look up here, this is actually the bridge, which is on deck 8. These areas collectively, definitely the best kept secret on the ship. I came out here quite a few times, never saw anybody else. Here we're right under the bridge, up on deck 7, with deck 8 being the bridge. So you can't get up to deck 8, but you can get out on deck 9, and that's what I did. So I went back in the ship. I walked all the way to the end of the stateroom hallway until I found a door to get out here. And I'm now standing right on top of the bridge wing itself. And by the way, if you want tons of privacy, you probably don't want one of the staterooms just here at the end of deck 9. So what do you think? Would you come out to this part of the ship? Let me know in the comments. Back inside, the hallways are really not like any other ship I've been on. Interesting decor. And then I came across this stateroom door. So hey Mark, hey Rocky, check out this cruise life, which has more content on the Firenze. And if you want to see my review of our balcony stateroom, click the link to watch this video right now. Thank you for watching. My name's Scott from Let's All Cruise.